Hello again. In this video, we talk about Visual Studio IDE that we're going to be using extensively for this project, how it works, how to set it up, how to create a new project, how to write your code, how to run and debug and explore the feature. But basically, we're going to be talking about the setting up of the Visual Studio, the IDE we're going to be using for this project. So the truth is, you can use any text editing software software to write your code, but it's not going to be effective. So let's say, for instance, you want to use Notepad to write code. So the challenge is it's going to be difficult for you to trace error and to know which code to write. You can even decide to use MS Word, but it's not well tailored for that kind of thing. That is why many IDE, integrated development environments, that is the full meaning of IDE, has been developed not only by Microsoft, by other companies that we can use to write in a very powerful code and debug and test our code and do a lot of things, create a very powerful application from it, and we're good to go. And most of these applications are free to use, and I will show you. We'll start from Visual Studio IDE, the whole operation, the whole structure, and we will show you the Visual Studio Code. So you can use any of this. You can use the Visual Studio IDE, and this one is free, Visual Studio 2022, because 2024 or 2025 will be released very soon. And this is Visual Studio Code, which is the most powerful IDE to develop any programming languages. But this one is basically tailored to Windows.NET and all that. But this one is more or less like cross-platform that you can use to develop any application, and you can write any programming language. You can install any programming languages on it and start using it. Why this one is well tailored to .NET, Microsoft Windows and web ecosystem. But ultimately, we're going to be using this Visual Studio because we're dealing with C# masters in software development using ASP.NET and C#. So everything has been configured for us, and we just need to get started. Unlike this one that we have to install it one by one, all by ourselves. Okay, so this is Visual Studio, where you can go to your Google and search for download Visual Studio 2022, and here you can select download Visual Studio tools and install it, or you can select it from this, which is visualstudio.microsoft.com. So I prefer to use this for, you can use any of this to lead you to the same URL. So GitHub Copilot and Visual Studio 2022. This GitHub Copilot is more or less like auto AI tools that can help you to write your code very fast. Of course, the moment you install Visual Studio 2022 is bundled with GitHub Copilot. So these are things you can do with Visual Studio 2022. You can code faster, work smarter. You can download the preview version. So we have the Community Edition, Professional Edition, and Enterprise Edition. For this purpose, we're going to use Community Edition, which is free, and you can use it to develop virtually anything that you intend to develop. You don't need the Professional Edition. I think it's about $500 or thereabout, and the Enterprise is more or less for the big organization and all that. So for you to go get started, just download the Community Edition, which is free, and we can use it to develop virtually anything that we intend to do. So anything, you can use Visual Studio to develop a productive, modern, and innovative application, and so many things. So this is the debug section, as one of the most powerful debug tools, and code IntelliSense, where to suggest code for you and things like that. Then you can deploy to any application within, with any cloud service within the Visual Studio environment, and this alone will go a long way to help you. So for you to do that, I have already downloaded it and installed it because it's my everyday tool. So for you to download, just go to this and click on download the Community Edition and install it. while trying to install it. So let me try and pull it up now, so that I'll tell you what the best approach. I'll tell you the best approach to that. So I'm going to search for Visual Studio Installer. Let me run this Visual Studio Installer, and Visual Studio Installer will pop up, and this is exactly what you will get. And you can decide to, you will get all the list of, just like this now, we get all the list of Visual Studio packages like Community Edition, Enterprise Edition. When you click on download, then to launch this for you, then you can now install it the same way. If I want to install now, I'll just click on install. But before I click on install, I want to specify the tools that you need to use. I mean, you need to install, because there are so many tools out there that you can install. To do that, I will click on modify. Instead of modify, if I click on this available now, if I click on this install, it will show me some of the things that I need to do. But this one is far more way below what I intend to install. So you can install, this one is 17.10, while this one is 17.9096. So let me click on modify now. When you click on install, you have it like this, all the components, the web cloud. Make sure you select this one, ASP.NET Web Development, tick it, tick this Azure Development as well. Select Python Development. If you want to code in Python, you can decide to do that. Maybe it depending on the speed of your system, the speed, I mean your system requirement. But I recommend Windows. I recommend you use Core i7 for this application, and minimum of 8 gig RAM, so that you do not bore or slow down your system, because it's a very heavy application. But if you don't have up to that, maybe you have Core i5 or Core i3, don't worry, you may not necessarily have to install this, because it will slow down and it may give you a serious headache while trying to publish or deploy or debug application. You can still use a Visual Studio Code for that, and to work effortlessly. So I'm going to show you how to set up Visual Studio Code in the next video. So Node.js development, you can select Node.js development. Then, because we're going to be dealing with many applications, I mean building many applications, .NET, so make sure you select this .NET multi-app UI development. You select this. You can decide not to select this .NET desktop or desktop development with C++. I had to select all of this because by virtue of my position and what I do, I have to work on some of these things. But you don't need this desktop development with C++. Then if you want to develop desktop application, you can decide to select this as well. But the most important thing is, okay, let me continue before you go. So for now, you can disable all of this and then select. If you want to do data science and analytical applications, you can select this. But you don't need all of these things. Then make sure you select this Visual Studio and Station Development. This is very, very important too. And data storage and processing, you can select this one as well. These two, because we will be dealing with SQL Server and Azure Data Lake in our future videos. So in summary, select Azure, ASP.NET and Web Development, Azure Development, Python, Node.js, .NET multi-platform app UI development. You can select this as well, .NET desktop development, if you really want to develop a desktop application. And don't worry if you cannot select everything, because it's going to take about 5 gigabytes to 5 gigabytes of data to download and install everything. So, and then lastly, just select the data storage and the processing and the Visual Studio extension. That will be helpful from my hand. Then once you do that, make sure you select install, download or then install, so that you download everything on your system, then install it after installation to clear the cache, so that the cache, so that you can start using, you can free up a lot of memory. That will be all from there. You can close it now. For in your case, you see install, then you can do that. But because I've already installed it, I don't have to do that again. So in the next video, I'll show you how to install Visual Studio Code. Thank you.